Well, hello, officially hello. Welcome to 2025. It's our first open office hours. And I listened to you. You guys said three's too many, two's just right. So we're keeping the evening one on the second Monday at 4 o'clock. And then we're just shifting and kind of merging the other two in the month. So it's going to be the fourth Tuesday at 11:30. Hopefully we can get the bulk of folks and have as much interaction as possible. All right. So if you're new or haven't been on in a while, this is just an open forum. You guys come with questions for each other or for me or comments, anything, anecdotes, mission moments, whatever you guys want to do. You're driving this bus. I'm just holding the space. The floor is yours. Who's up?
I wanted to touch base with Pat about delivering of those coats we talked about. I don't know, do you want to do it offline, Pat, or can you just propose when's a good time?
Refresh my memory.
You were talking about your clothing closet that you have available, and I had said after we do our handout at Christmas, if we have residual coats,
okay.
can we bring them? And we do.
Okay. Wednesdays are best because Bonnie is there. She's the one that in the afternoon, but we would take them in the morning. But that's our pantry day, and we're getting ready all day. So anytime on a Wednesday would be great.
So anytime between
9 and 5:30.
Well, whatever. It's Bonnie. You said that I should.
Bonnie.
Okay, and she's there in the afternoon.
Yeah, she usually gets there around noon.
Okay.
Her name is Bonnie Wilson.
Bonnie Wilson. Thanks.
Great. Love that you guys are just connecting and doing all this stuff. What else is going on, folks? Hi, Gina. Hi, Jean. Not Jean Ellen. Jean.
I have a question on if anyone ordered peas and carrots, the frozen peas and carrots. I had 2.5 cases that bags were, when we opened the boxes, the bags were already open. Did anyone else have that experience?
We didn't order them, so I can't speak to that. Were they slit or were the ends open?
No, they were slit. At where the seam is, where they seal them, it either didn't get sealed well enough or it just split open.
That's a shame.
What product was that?
It was peas and carrots, frozen peas and carrots.
Oh.
And then I did have moldy cheese that came in, the sharp cheddar sliced cheese.
Oh. Mm.
Only one, it was really one thing. Only one thing of cheese was moldy. It was covered.
Interesting.
I had some problems with the pepper jack sliced cheese.
Yeah.
That molded really quickly.
I did send photos to Aaron and an email.
Did he get that taken care of for you, Glenda?
What did you say?
Did Aaron get that taken care of for you?
I'm not sure. I haven't. He hasn't replied to my email, and he hasn't said he did. Because the other question I asked was, we were supposed to get HPNAP. I had HPNAP grant, right? That starts in the big January.
Yeah.
And it isn't showing up in my. It showed up once, and then it's gone. And I didn't buy anything.
Okay. Well, that I can look for. When did you email Aaron about the cheese?
Thursday.
Or the peas and carrots? Thursday?
Last Thursday, yeah.
Okay. I will ping him. He's out of the office right now, but I'll touch base with him first thing in the morning and see what's going on with it. Because I have not seen that one come across my desk. I don't see all of them.
Yeah.
So
it was just one package of cheese. It was odd.
It is odd.
It wanted to be blue cheese.
Yeah, it was.
Was it wholesale?
The peas and carrots were I don't know if they were whole. Yeah, everything was wholesale, I think. No, the cheese might have been TFAP. I can't remember now. That was last week. I have my order right here.
So Glenda, I see your HPNAP second half on your account. You have a balance there. And then I also see your second half LIF as well. So I see two things in your, plus you still have a carryover of the first half of LIF.
Right. But I can only see the LIFs. I can't see the other stuff.
All right. I'm going to log in to you. All right. Give me some time to sleuth. You guys keep going on and I'll see what I can dig up. What else is going on, folks?
Has anyone had problems with the grains that come in that cellophane-like packet? We have to be so careful or they'll just pop open. I mean, even if they're on, I've been telling people to rearrange them because if they're on the bottom layer too long, when you get to it, it's popped open.
What kind of grains?
There have been macaroni, there have been spaghetti, it's mostly the macaroni because they, egg noodles. We've had rice, actually rice, but that doesn't come in the cellophane. But we have to really be careful handling the ones that do come in this cellophane, like it's just a thin plastic kind of thing.
I haven't had any trouble with it.
No, we haven't either.
Is that like wholesale type or is this the stuff that we rebag?
Some of the macaroni might have been, but it's usually the wholesale. It doesn't come in boxes or a heavier bag or whatever. The spaghetti usually is not a problem. That usually is just seems to be a little bit thicker.
Yeah. It's news to me. If you're finding that it's happening a lot, or even when it does happen, just shoot us a message. Okay, so Dot's on here. She says she's also had issues with the wholesale pasta packs ripping too. Is it the same brand? Like, is it a specific brand or just, because I know we've got our wholesale pasta from some different vendors. I just want to make sure that.
I couldn't tell you the brand off the top of my head.
Okay. And this is stuff that you've recently got.
Yes, actually, a couple of times I've emailed because some they came out of the box that way. I mean, there might be a third of the box if they came out that way. Like maybe the box had been jostled or whatever.
But still, you want it to be strong enough to,
survive.
Live through the shipping of this and the storage of this.
I know the newer packages that we've gotten in the last month are more elongated rectangular shape as opposed to more wider and square. Hello.
I hadn't thought about it, but I think you're right.
Yeah, it's definitely a different brand or yeah.
And it's an odd name brand.
I know we have to be very, very careful when we're cutting the boxes open because macaroni will split open very easily.
Got it. So I am taking some notes to pass along. So you guys all know that Carolyn Tolbert is our purchaser. She's our manager of food sourcing. So what her priority is to get, just like all of you, is to get the most bang for your buck. So she's out there price checking and seeing which vendors have the best price point. But if we're hearing that, the better price point has inferior packaging quality, that tells us how we proceed. So I'll take all this information, I'll give it to her, let her be aware, and it might inform how she, whether or not she goes back to that vendor. I know that we've changed some vendors since hearing back from you about some products. So keep it up. And it's unfortunate that you're losing pasta.
Do you know if you're going to have eggs anytime soon?
Yes, she is sourcing eggs. I don't know when she's anticipating them coming in. And when we do receive them, they usually come in on a Tuesday. That
Okay.
hasn't changed. So, and I haven't been out there to look at her order board in a while. I got to remember to do that before I hop on these calls. What else, folks? Oh, before we keep going, Glenda, I just logged into your PWW. You are not seeing those HPNAP, and I don't understand why, because it's showing on our end. So I just took a screenshot and I'm sending it over to James I think something's just not checked is all. Okay.
Okay.
So we're on it.
Going to be lucky to get eggs pretty soon. I think there's 2 big farms down on the eastern shore in Maryland that just got bird flu. They're killing millions of chickens down there now.
Oh.
So eggs are going to be harder to get now.
Dang.
Yep.
It isn't one thing, it's another.
Is there any chance that eggs can be available in lesser quantities than the 30 dozen box? Like a half
that
box?
Depends on which vendor, when they come whether they come TFAP and how they send it, or if we're sourcing it for wholesale. If they're smaller, it does increase the price of them per dozen.
No.
We obviously get a cheaper price if they don't have to do as much packaging, but we can definitely send that request to Carolyn for her to keep an eye out for those. So 1 dozen versus 30 packs. What else is happening? It's been ages since I've seen you, Ron. Hi.
I actually have 3 questions for you. It'll probably reveal how far behind the curve I am, but
no worries. Let's see what's going on. What's going on?
Okay, holiday ham grant application. It says on it something about when is your distribution day, or are you doing a meal?
Mhm.
And actually, what we do is we hand the hams out to our customers. So we don't have a particular day, and we're not doing a meal. We're just distributing them out of the pantry as we get customers. So I just didn't know what to put in.
So I think there's also a comment box. So you can put if you know a day that you're going to be open for pantry, or a time span. Most people say the month of April or something like that, if it's just going to be every time they're open.
Okay. All right. I guess I did notice the comment box. Okay.
Yeah. And for those of you who are wondering why we do that, because sometimes we like to come out and take pictures of you guys doing all the amazing work. So it's a nice little opportunity for us to showcase what you're doing.
Oh, you got to come on one of our holidays when we hand stuff out, because we have a young man who has Downs, and he is our official meat hander outer. He will start in October saying, wanting to know what date he has to be there for he volunteers every Wednesday. Plus he and his worker come in on another day and they clean our pantry for us. But he is hilarious. He knows when everybody's birthday is, because he has a calendar that he does every month for us. And whoever's birthday, he knows where everybody's birthday goes.
Nice.
But he's our official person to hand out hams. He's got the hat, he's got the gloves, and he loves doing it.
Nice. All right. Thanks for sharing that. I do want to get back to Ron. He had a couple more questions. I know to cut him off, so
sorry.
I got a check for line of credit from last year.
Yeah.
And how come you guys did that? You haven't done that before.
No, we haven't. And that's a great question, because we weren't anticipating something like this happening. All of those lines of credit from 22, 23, 2024, they were all from our strategic investment funds. All of that extra stuff from COVID donations. So all of our impact grants, all of these really focused initiatives. Well, those had a finite due date on them. They ended December 31st, 2024. So none of those funds could roll over. Even if they were in your account, they needed to be spent. So instead of you guys losing them, we went and cut checks for any remaining balance that you had that was
Oh, cool.
SIF funding and sent it to you guys to use.
Okay.
It was an 11th hour. We're like, oh no, we got to do this because we didn't fully understand that those funds could not roll over if they were in your account. So
I got to see if I can. The check was made out to our pantry,
mhm.
and it really is not a financial entity. I mean, it has no checking account or anything. The deacons of the church do. So I got to see if they can cash the check. But otherwise, I'll get back to you on it somehow.
Okay. All right. If they can't, let us know as soon as possible so that we can recut that.
Okay. And the last question I had is probably the toughest one. Is it's not tough, but I'm afraid of the answer. Is SMIC going to be mandatory?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that the feared answer? Was the yes?
Yeah. It's just because, you know, we're a small pantry. The crew I have is kind of paperwork averse. So I think what's going to happen is they're probably going to interview the clients, get the information on paper, and I'm going to be entering it in the system. But I wish I could get it to work a different way. But I mean, so
And
at that point, we're no longer going to be reporting statistics to you at some point?
Correct. Because
Okay.
once they're in SimC, we have staff that will go in and pull those and put them into the database that we need to report to New York State. And we also have pantries, Ron, that in large pantries at that don't have internet. So they do everything on paper. And then at the end of the day, they go and put everything into SimC after the fact.
Yeah.
So that is a doable solution. I think your best bet is really just to have these conversations with Catherine Miller and Terry, who are going to be the ones rolling this out, Terry primarily, and see what the best solution really is for your unique situation.
Ron, we did not interview people and we have almost 180, 200 people. We handed them a form that we created from Terry sent it to us and they filled it out on their own and then we entered the information.
But it
Okay.
also, we do that, but also we do the TFAP form at the same time. We're doing them all in January for the coming year. So we will have all updated TFAP information as well.
That's what we did as well. Yeah.
Yeah. We
I
did
do
ours
have a question
December.
around that though. I tried to, after, a couple of days ago, log into the system. So we're going to need new passwords and everything because I tried the first track and that doesn't work. So I don't know how to get in and look at the statistics anymore.
So you need new. Are you on SimC? Are you still on Fresh Track?
No, we switched over January 1.
Okay, so you did switch to SimC. So you just need new login credentials.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ping Terry to get those created and sent over to you.
Okay. We have a board meeting coming up this week, and I suspect that a couple of people that did the entering already have that information, probably, but I just didn't pick up on it.
Okay, I will. When I get a free second today before I leave the office, I will ping her. She'll get it done in the next day or so.
Okay.
She's really, really good about getting things done quickly.
Yes, she was. She was here last week when we kind of tried to kick this off and get it started. So I should have asked her then. But she was in the parking lot with all this clothing on, and I didn't recognize her when she came in.
Well, it was the week for
It
being
was the
warm.
week for a lot of clothing. Yeah.
That's right. I have a friend in Kentucky. She sent me this funny text that said, "Dear Northerners, please come and get your weather. We don't want it." They don't get any snow or rarely get snow. They have 13 inches of snow on the ground and no means to get rid of it.
Yep.
School's been shut down for like a week and a half. They're just not used to that.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. Guess it really depends on where in the country you're living. I want to circle back because so Kathleen Passetti was on the call briefly, but I don't know if everybody saw her message in the chat. She put in here, just wanted to pop on and hear a few minutes of our chat. Good to see you, she says. Appreciate the food recovery efforts, Glenda, Pat, Kerm, Jean Ellen, Dot, and Jean. You guys' teams are doing great. And sweet to see Sheila, Cindy, and Ron. So you guys all got a call out from her. So very nice of her. I didn't want to not do that.
Ron, where are you from?
Endwell, Northminster Presbyterian Church.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, we're small. We probably serve, in our busiest week, 12 families. Usually it's half of that a week. So it's not like we don't have the time to do the data input and stuff. It's really just kind of like one more form that they have to fill out because we do another form for chow and I don't know. I got to find out some way to streamline things for them.
So I have 3 questions too.
Three's a lucky number today, Sheila.
I guess so. Well, we'll see. With my second 2, I'm way behind the 8 ball. I have a feeling. So number 1, somebody mentioned they just hand out the hams during their pantries. But if you do that, how the heck do you store them all? Do you space out the delivery of them, or?
It's a really good question.
Ours are all, of course, they're frozen. And as they come in, because we give them out with the regular food distribution day, our fella, we brings, probably a case out. I mean, it's a steady stream. I mean, we hit 150 for Christmas. And he's there, and we have another guy who keeps supplying them. I mean, he just gets a case out of the freezer.
So do you just have one pantry a month?
No, every week.
So how do you store them? Do you get them every week?
No. We get our total amount of are you talking about the holiday hams?
The hams.
Yes, we got them the Tuesday before we gave them out. We have a huge freezer. We have a walk-in freezer.
The answer.
There's the answer.
Okay.
The answer is we have a huge commercial walk-in freezer.
Right.
Plus we have a freestanding freezer.
Okay. Yeah.
We have a unit for
I understand.
refrigerators and freezer unit.
That answers
That's why.
the
That's
question.
how.
Okay. Yeah, because we need to give them out in a day because we do not have a huge walk-in freezer.
Right.
So we have freezers, but not enough for that many hams. Okay, so that's the answer to that. I am remembering that I think I'm way behind the 8 ball. I am using Fresh Track, or Pantry Track, whatever it's called now. But I'm remembering now that we were converting to another system. And what is the deadline to convert to that system?
I don't know that, like, if you were already on their list, they'll be reaching out. I don't know what timeline they have set up for you at your pantry.
Okay.
But there is all pantries at some point, I think it's 2026, maybe.
Summer sticks in
will
my
be
brain.
on some C.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was gonna say July, but I didn't think it was 26. I thought it was this July. I could be wrong.
They're
No.
doing it in chunks, so they're not doing everybody all at once because we just
Alright.
don't have the manpower, even though
Yeah.
Terry is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good opportunity. Just reach out to Terry if you need her contact. I can ping her for you as well. Oh, Terry sent you new credentials already. So Terry's on top of it.
She's good. She's on top.
Sheila?
I'm sorry?
Would you like me just to message Terry real quick and to connect with you?
I can reach her, but what's Terry's last name?
Reinemann.
Reinemann.
So it's Reinemann. So I know she's still working, so I've just been shooting her messages. So
Yeah, Reinemann.
Mann.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could tell her Sheila at Union Center Methodist was wondering where she's at the schedule. I mean, I'm happy to change. I'd sort of forgotten about the whole thing. So, and it sounds like when we do that, there's a new form people have to fill out for it.
Only if you want to. Otherwise, you can interview people.
Okay. Yeah, whatever.
But because we serve so many, we found that doing the form was a whole lot easier for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because part of it is because we don't have a private place to interview people.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when you say interview, is it the same kind of stuff that Fresh Track needed? Like
yes,
name,
yes,
address, birthday?
yes.
Okay. All right. Very good.
But it also asks about their income, and it's part of the TFAP form, and
Okay.
yeah, it wants to
And
know
we don't-
gender and race and all that.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, the TFAP form. I mean,
Yep.
we use the TFAP form and say, you know, are you getting SNAP, Medicaid, SSI, or is your income under these particular levels? And they say blah, blah, blah. And we just put it in the system, in the Fresh Track system, but they don't fill out a form. We just show it to them. Is that okay?
Yes, you can complete that on their behalf, or you can turn your screen around. They can complete it.
Right.
And you should always have paper copies on hand regardless.
Yeah, we do.
I have a
But
question.
we don't use, I mean, people don't end up filling them out because we do it on the system. Okay,
Yeah,
just want to
so-
make sure that was okay.
And that's okay. And so I'll get to you in just a second, Pat. I do want to plug the fact that next week on the 23rd, Terry is hosting another demo.
Oh,
And so it's in the email that I just sent out today
okay.
that has the registration link. If you guys are available, hop on that, because
Okay.
I can give you overarching answers. She can get in the weeds and make
Okay.
sure that all that information is accurate. So
Okay, cool. Thank
double
you.
check that and hop on.
Yeah, I will.
Excellent. Pat, back to you.
TFAP question.
Mhm.
What happened to those New York State people that want to see all the paperwork?
What about them? They're there. They're still in Albany.
I know, but a year ago or so, it was like they were going to pantries, they wanted papers, and we didn't have papers. So if they're not, you just said to her, she doesn't need to fill out papers.
No, so
System.
her sister, she's on Fresh Track. So she's filling it out and then they're going into the system. They're on Fresh Track. We have a report we can run that shows that the attestations are being completed.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And even if you are on SimC or Fresh Track, you still should have paper copies on hand because they're going to ask you, what happens if the electricity goes out?
Our generator kicks in within 11 seconds.
The best answer. That's excellent, Pat.
But my answer is we close the pantry because we can't be opening the doors of things.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's another really good answer. I mean, it's just always just make sure you have paper copies just in case. We know that's not going to happen. You're not going to necessarily need them that way, but just cover your butts.
My 300-page report that I ran about those. Ready to hand them.
Excellent. I love that. Thank you so much. I want to be there to just give them everything they need and let them sift through it. let it shake out, because we don't know when they're coming. And that's the unfortunate part of having this state agency kind of overseeing the process for TFAP or USDA foods is they notify you. If you guys let us know, then we now know, but they don't have to tell us. And the audit is a review of the food bank, not necessarily your pantry. However, they might find things that aren't up to compliance, and then we get dinged for it and we have to create a corrective action plan. So again, it's on us. I was in communication with them at the end of the calendar year last year of 2024. They've had some changeover. So I have no idea when in 2025 they're going to come out or who they're going to go visit. So any of you are.
That's hilarious. I mean, I just think the whole thing's hilarious.
Well, didn't you say it's very minimal, the number of pantries that they visit in a year?
Oh, yeah. It's like 5. So I think they have to do a total of 20 in all of New York State, maybe. Jeez. Or maybe, I know they don't visit 20 in our service area. I could
so don't stress out, Pat.
Don't
Oh, I'm not
stress out.
stressed. I wanted them to come. I'm not kidding. I have this report.
If you
of
want them
who-
to come, I can say, hey, I've got a pantry that
No,
is
Nancy,
inviting you.
Nancy Hayner would have a heart attack if I did that to her.
So,
And
I
I
mean,
could do that to
yeah,
her.
anybody who would like to invite them, let me know. I'll
Oh,
shoot them a
God.
message and be like, hey, they won't know what to do with us. Wait, this food bank has pantries that want us to come out? Yes, we do. We have nothing to hide. Full transparency. Sheila.
I really don't want them to come out here. They're stupid questions that we have not ought to have to answer.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a lot. I do have an update, Sheila, from Terry. She says she doesn't have you on the list. However, if you are interested, or if you are in P2, but you can go ahead and ping her and you guys can start the conversation to see what time what's your timeline is looking like.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to change over, so I'm fine with that. Okay.
All right.
She doesn't have us on the list. Okay.
She had a list of low-hanging fruit, as we like to call the ones that are like, let's do this. So
okay.
she's gonna have to get up on a ladder to get to you. So I mean, she's just got to do a little bit more work, but it's easy. It's not like she has to go get the cherry picker out and like get licensed for that, or okay, my visuals are just going all over the place. What else, guys? Hi. We're about halfway through. What else is happening?
I have a question about some things that were in the newsletter. Upcoming due date for the 2024-2025 HPNAP operations support. And then there's a link to submit forms, but when you go there, there's nothing.
The link didn't work. The link should take you to our grants management
It takes
site.
to the grants management platform, but it's just
that's it.
Old things. There's nothing
Okay.
new. And then seems like there were two different things there. I'm just wondering if I'm behind on any paperwork.
No.
The 2025 renewals for partner agency.
So this is a really good question. So let's do HPNAP first.
Okay.
If no one received capital equipment from us because we ran it all through food bank funding. So anybody who received HPNAP, OSCE, they received money for operation support. Proof of purchase and proof of paying down whatever from July 1st to December 31st of 2024. That documentation is due the first Friday of February. We've taken dates away, really. So, I mean, there is a date, but it's always going to be that first Friday in February. That's the due date. So 2 weeks before that, you'll get a reminder saying to submit. And what that is, if it's utilities, you're going to say how much for each month, include proof of payment, whether it's an automatic, like just a bill that says that it was auto pay, or maybe it's a copy of a voided check, and a copy of the bill.
Okay, so we don't have any of that, so I'm in the clear. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So wait, you guys didn't get a HPNAP award for 20?
Not for capital equipment. You got us.
No, not capital equipment, operation support. Did you get it for utilities or staffing or space?
No.
That? Okay, then good. Excellent. You're in the clear. The two other things that are happening right now, due in the middle of February, are those holiday hams. So you do have to put in that special code, HPNAP agencies only. So that's all of our pantries that are HPNAP eligible, our community meal sites and shelters, because we're using HPNAP money to purchase those.
Right. I did that.
That's why it's HPNAP agencies only.
Yeah, I did that as soon as it came in.
So remember, you got to put that code in if you haven't done that yet. And the code is HAM25. Then the second thing. So we had HPNAP, HAMs, third thing, your partner renewals. So because we made changes to the contract, you do have to have that contract signed again. It's this Wednesday. This Wednesday, I am going to host a quick training to go through what each of those lines in our contract mean, especially the new stuff. So if you're not sure what's going on, or if you have volunteers or staff that could use just an understanding of what you guys are actually signing an agreement with us of, hop on. I will have that recorded. So I'm going to go through what those are. And most of the questions are the same as last year. What's different? New York State now requires prefixes on one of our reports.
Prefixes.
So yeah, I need to know if you are a Mrs., a Mr., a Ms., a doctor, a reverend.
Do I have to sign RN after my name?
No.
In
RN
front of you.
retired?
Prefixes.
No,
They don't ask for anything else but prefixes. So
That's really
about-
stupid.
How about
it is.
PIA?
But it took us so long to complete this one report because we've never asked that information before. So some of y'all's, I was guessing.
What is up with them creating paperwork? Did somebody
I have
think
no
they're gonna
idea.
lose their job?
Well, I don't know what the purpose was. Really, I can, assume or make guesses. I do know that New York State is shifting to a new reporting database. So starting in July, they're going to have a whole new system that we send the reports into. So maybe it's preparing for that. I'm not sure. I can guess that, but I don't know.
Prefix. I've never gone by Mrs. Ms.
If you are trying to submit your renewal and it's not going through, go up and double check that all of those prefixes are filled in.
Just put doctor in front of everybody.
But
Nobody
that,
will know.
then that's fine with me. Who am I to guess to question you about it? But really, that was the only big change. And then the survey, there is a magic word when you get to the end of the survey that you have to submit that confirms whether or not you have completed it. Because what we were finding is people were just pushing through and not doing the survey. We really need that information from you because that helps us make decisions.
Yeah.
And
When
decide
you do
whether
the
or not
survey,
we continue
remember
with the
the
program.
magic word.
The magic
That's what that
word.
means.
That brings Groucho Marx to mind. Say the magic word and the duck comes down.
Oh
Some
my
of you don't-
gosh.
Some of you
Don't
may
be
not
surprised if a future magic word isn't duck. Oh, so yeah. So those are the three things that are coming up deadline wise. There's a question.
And that renewal is on the grants management platform?
Yes, and that is due.
Because I didn't
that
see
is
it
due
there.
February 28th, the last day of February.
All right, well, I just didn't see it there.
Yep. We started it for everyone. So it's not that you have to go in and apply for it. You need to go to your dashboard and look for it and then make edits.
Okay, that I did
So
find, but it just seemed to be very limited and it was already filled out.
So what we did is we copied all of your answers from last year and pasted them forward because probably 90% of it is still the same. Now you go in and you just confirm whether or not that person is still there and that phone number is accurate. You just double check all the answers and then get it re-signed and submitted.
Or your prefixes changed since last year.
I never.
That's possible. It's possible.
But with all this data, they want to know about gender identity.
I don't know what they're doing with any of it.
It's crazy.
So there's a question in the chat. Aaron left you a voice message, and yes, we did cancel your order for this week. You're good to go. You are welcome. All right. So what else is going on, folks? We covered a lot today.
Do we know what the hams are going to be, or did you already talk about that? Are they nice
We have not
big
talked
ones?
about it. We have not talked about it. She's still waiting so she's put feelers out to our vendors. She's asking them for quotes. She hasn't heard back much information yet. So what she's requesting is a roughly 4 to 6 pounders. And I told her to cast the net wide and look for the best price points because the more we can get, the more that we can serve, right? So we're hoping for about 5 pounds. It might be boneless. It could be semi-boneless or it could be bone-in. We just don't know yet.
Okay.
And hopefully they're all going to be the same size. So the last couple of years, they keep throwing us a screwball and we end up with these multiple different sizes and we just kind of try to get them out as equitably as possible. But as soon as I know, I will let you guys know if that works. Be like, hey, I heard it's going to be this. But yeah.
The question we get, no spiral? No.
So that wasn't, that is not excluded. So she's also includes that in when she's searching. So it's not just like whole hams. It's like whatever you can get. If it's that for some reason they have a good price point, we want it. Sheila, you have an email in your inbox from Terry.
Oh, thank you so much.
I love these calls because she's always working.
The new
done with her.
The new guidance for HPNAP, a 3-day food supply.
Yes.
So we should update our distribution accordingly. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Possibly. It depends. Excuse me. So in a nutshell, I don't want to steal Eric's thunder because that's going to be training that's provided next week from our nutrition resource manager, health and nutrition program manager. Is that his actual title? Eric Powers. No changes to fruits and vegetables. That stays the same for like a family of 4. It's still 18 choices. No changes to the grains. That's still, what is it, like 6, I think, for a family of 4. What the change is you still have to have the same number of protein requirements, those same number of choices. I think it's 12 for a family of 4. The difference is dairy is no longer counted as a protein. They've pulled dairy out. So you have to come up with 12 choices for any protein that's non-dairy. Dairy is now optional. So these are in addition to any protein that you have that is non-dairy. So because they're under the way that they word it is it's not always available. I mean, we try to prioritize dairy because we know our people, but it is harder to come by for most food banks. So the dairy proteins are optional.
So if you are short some proteins on the new list, but you know you do distribute dairy, does that help you? I mean, can you say, well, I'm just, I'm handing out milk and eggs or...
I'm going to leave that to Eric to answer because my interpretation may not be the same as his. My interpretation, I will give you my interpretation. My interpretation is that no, it does not count as a protein any longer. You're going to have to find either more options for your protein choices or more, they can take more of maybe peanut butter or canned chicken or whatever to get those choices up to 12. But you can't count the dairy in it. The dairy is completely removed. But that is my interpretation. I could be 100% wrong. So I don't want, again, I'm going to be watching the recording because I'm not going to be available to watch it in real time. So I'm going to learn what he has to say as well. So
I mean, eggs and milk are very popular things to supply. I mean,
they really are.
And if there's no incentive to do it, it's like...
Is eggs considered dairy?
Let's see what the website says.
I would think that would be protein.
I would think so too.
It'd be nice.
Well, totally stealing Eric's thunder.
I do believe it's got a pretty good amount of...
Let's see if I can find it.
Certainly not dairy.
Nutrition training. Where is this on here? It's 3-day package. It's on here because this is where I found it. Let me see. Aha. This is
I think eggs may be on it, but milk isn't. Something like that. Yogurt isn't.
Cottage cheese would probably not be on there either. I mean, they would be dairy. Regular cheese.
Eggs shows up as protein. 1 dozen eggs equals 2 choices.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share this so you guys can see it. And do not tell Eric that I gave you a sneak peek. I say this with love. It's on our website. All right. It is a 2-pager too. That's the other part to this. So it doesn't fit on 1 page anymore. How's that, guys? So like I said, veggies haven't changed, but here's the proteins. So we have canned beans. They've expanded the proteins. That's another thing to note here. they have expanded it. So tofu is now listed. Canned beef stew is now listed along with chili and ravioli, those canned stuff. Your eggs are proteins. And they list out a veggie burger, which is great. So it does have like a larger variety. But if we scroll down to this one,
cheeses. Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
offer
cheese,
based on product availability. So it's more choices for a family of 4.
Oh, cheese, 8 ounces.
Mhm.
Okay.
So is what you're showing, does it match up with what was sent out in December? It's in a different
Yes.
format? Okay, so it is the same information, just
Same
done-
information.
Okay.
Yep. And I've heard mixed reviews. Some people like it better in this version. Some people like it the older style that we used to have it. But I mean, it's just listing off, like, again, it's any combination of these and any amounts to get you to those choices.
So Amanda, if we go down through, if we're taking someone through the pantry, and I mean, everybody that comes to the Wayland pantry gets at least 1 pack of frozen meat, regardless if they're a family of 1 or a family of 11.
Yeah.
And then we have a basic plan where, like, they're offered walnuts or hazelnuts or pecans. If we have any of the nuts, they're offered a bag of nuts. They're offered 2 choices of beans. They're offered a can of salmon or tuna or chicken. At the point, it was milk. Now we'll take that one out. Peanut butter. We had a basic, like, allotment that that was 15. And then everybody would get at least 1, even a family of 1, after they got the 15 points, would get a pack of meat. And then we'd go up from there as far as how much more they needed, if they wanted some more packs of meat or whatever. But what do I have to compensate if someone says, no, I don't want any beans? If I've offered it and they turn it down, and I was counting that as like 2 on the 15, do I have to compensate and make sure if they've been offered it and turned it down?
I really appreciate this question so much. No, as long as it's offered. That's the beauty of client choice, is you can offer all of this and they could walk away with a bag of nuts and a pound of fruit. That's their 3-day package because that's what they chose.
Okay.
You
so I
offered
don't have
them
to
the
say
3-day
you
package.
you didn't want any of those, so I've got to give you 3 more packs of meat. I don't have
You do
to
not
do
have
that
to.
as long as I'm
You do
okay.
not have to. As long as you're offering that minimum. And I'm going to say it again. I love the fact that you have like this base amount that you offer to everyone. That is beautiful, because what we often hear from smaller families is they just don't have enough. And you guys are doing this in spades. I love how you guys have it set up. But no, you're doing fine.
Okay.
You don't
I
have
just
to
wanted
make sure that
sure.
they take it, because it's
Okay.
their choice.
Okay.
Any other questions on this? Okay, dokie, then I'm going to stop my share and get back to us. Again, Eric's going to be like super expert on this and breeze right through it. And whatever he says trumps whatever I say. I'm going to put that out there right now. All right. So we're down to our last 10. Anything that we haven't covered, or is there anything that you want to circle back to?
I'm just wondering, after going ahead and working on the agency agreement and whatever, they recently refinished the door that I used to have the pantry sign and the proud partner label on, and they took that off. And I've been working on, I mean, I've got a new sign that I'm trying to get made.
Okay.
But I'm just wondering, I guess what I need is another proud sponsor of the Food Bank of the Southern Tier decal. If I have that displayed, yes. If I have that displayed inside at the bulletin board, do I still need to have it displayed outside the building?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's just wherever it's prominently displayed. We want to show off that you guys are a partner of ours and that we're a partner of yours. So,
Okay.
If you want more than one, you're welcome to it. But
Okay.
I think as long as it's in one place, it's visible.
All right. So
And
I'll
usually
make
it's an
sure that
external facing place.
Okay.
Usually.
Do we just
External
make
facing
those?
outside on the outside of the building, you're saying? External facing place, is that what you're meaning?
But yeah, where people are going to come in and they're going to see it. So anybody that may be walking by, they could also see it, or if they're coming in for church services possibly and using that door, they could see it.
Okay. Okay. So, and I did get approval through, I don't know, it changed hands who needed to do the approval because I was using the food bank insignia. But I did get approval and whatever. So I'll have that for an outside sign when I finally get that sign taken care of. So at this point, if I had it inside on my bulletin board, that would be sufficient until I have the sign in place. Okay.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I'll put this in an envelope and send that out to you since you're not getting a delivery until next week, or the following week. And then Bree was amazing and just went through and laminated a bunch of these 3-day packages. Does everybody on the call want a copy mailed to them?
Yes.
Yes.
Or,
Yeah.
Yes,
or added on your next order?
Yeah.
Yes.
Either.
Please.
Okay, then let me make sure I have
Send that
everyone's name.
tomorrow.
And I could
Ellen.
use one of those
You want-
stickers about the proud partner of the food bank.
Okay,
I
so
didn't
to
realize
proud
we
partner.
had to have that sign on the door.
Yeah, me too, of the proud partner.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Jean.
So to proud partner. Jean wants, how many did you want, Jean?
One of the proud partner.
Okay, one
And
proud
then-
partner.
Yeah,
Did
and a
anybody else
couple
need
of-
a proud partner?
Yeah.
Besides-
Sheila,
I'd like 2.
Okay, Pat wants 2 proud partners. Okay.
Sheila would take 2 too.
Okay, Sheila wants 2.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I would like one proud partner.
Oh.
Glenda.
Glenda. 1 proud partner. And then who hasn't? Kerm, Cindy,
We've got one on
and
the door.
Ron.
We're in good shape.
Yeah, I think you guys are set. But you guys want a copy of the 3-day package, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Is 1 copy sufficient or do you need multiple copies?
just one.
One.
One
Couple would be
probably
nice.
is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Doc could take a couple copies
Okay.
of the food packages if you've got it.
Got it.
Especially if it's front and back, right?
It is front and back. Yeah.
So if we post it, yeah, we definitely need 2.
Okay. So you also want 2 then, Jean?
Yes, please.
I guess I know what I'm doing tomorrow when I come in the office. I'm doing some postage.
And by the way,
So-
welcome back from vacation.
Hey,
We're glad you're
I'm
back.
not complaining.
I
I
have
was
a
getting
quick
to a
question.
point where I was missing you.
I
Oh,
missed you.
we all
there's a
did.
question.
Yep, I have a quick question. I just got notified by the village code enforcement officer that I'm
Okay.
supposed to be having a life safety inspection. Has anybody had one of those and what is it?
I don't know.
Oh.
A life safety
Is it?
inspection?
Did you say county or city or
No,
town?
by the village,
Village.
because we're in the village. I'm waiting to hear back from him. I said, exactly what is this? What do you look for? Is there a cost? I said the food bank does an inspection on us.
They look for fire extinguishers.
I'm wondering
They look
if
for
it's to
exit,
check for fire,
safe egress.
right, fire
It's very basic
extinguishers
stuff.
and
Oh, she just froze.
She froze.
okay. Is there a charge for it or no?
There isn't
No.
here. I don't know.
I mean, we've
Oh,
been
you
over
froze
the,
for a minute there, Jean. So can you?
We
I'm
do a
not sure
fire,
where we lost you.
we do a fire extinguisher inspection every year, and it does cost us for that.
Who does that, Cat Perm?
The guy in Candor.
Yeah, they,
No, but I mean, what is he, like a code enforcement officer?
no,
No, he's a separate fire extinguisher.
it's federal
And-
safety and equipment. And he does a lot of stuff for the fire departments. I mean, he's a past fireman on the ambulance, all like that. And they do it all over. I know they do them in Broome County. They do a lot. Luckily,
Well, we've
we get it
You've
been
gratis.
there
but
over a year and we've been there
Usually
over a
that's-
year and we haven't had it done. And I don't
that-
recall one being done at the old place.
That's usually the insurance company that whoever
Requires
does your insurance
Okay.
insists on a fire extinguisher inspection.
Yeah,
And
when
how-
I took over, I checked our fire extinguishers just because in a past life, it was something I had to be aware of, and they were only 3 years out of date.
Well, I have one that's 11. How long are they good for? Does anybody know?
I wouldn't trust it. They can lose all of their fizz.
Right, but you don't know how long they're good for?
It's usually posted on the extinguisher.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
there's
a
posted
tag
because
and
it
it
varies
tells
by
you.
type.
There's no date.
All I know is the
And I thought
inspection
there
is
used-
done every year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is for us,
Okay.
and we use ABC.
Apparently not
fire
here.
Extinguisher.
Okay,
And-
all right.
and,
Yeah, I thought there was a little date on the fire extinguisher itself, but no, we don't have
no,
one.
they tag it. but
Yeah,
Whoever
Yeah.
brings it usually tags it for you.
okay.
So I
all
think
right.
the short answer is 11 years old with no date is probably not a good thing.
No,
Right. Well, that's only one. I have another one that has no date on it at all, so.
Oh, okay.
Time
Well,
for
this
new
person is a
fire.
professional and they are
Yeah.
going to be full of knowledge for you.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would go
hopefully.
to that.
pick their
I would
brain.
totally lean into that. Something else is like they're going to give you those parameters about keeping your ingress and egress completely cleared. You don't want to put boxes in front of doors. I think it's
Right,
like 18 inches to 24 inches, boxes from the ceiling, things like that, your basic stuff.
right.
And I would just utilize them for their knowledge. as a
Okay.
resource.
But I'm assuming that the fire extinguishers would be the
Keep going.
landlord's responsibility.
Oh,
With that, I guess you
Whoop.
need to take a look
She
at your
froze
contract
again.
with your landlord.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah, look at your contract with your landlord, talk to them, and yeah.
okay. Good to know.
Okay, we're down to our last minute. Any final thoughts, comments, questions, concerns?
my daughter turns 50 Friday. She's older than me now.
Oh, that's a great note to end on.
Oh,
Well, happy birthday to your daughter. That is wonderful. It's nice
Hey,
that
with
you
all-
are.
With all this paperwork, welcome to 2025.
Exactly. And thank you for keeping this going so strong. You guys came with really good questions and conversation. So appreciate you all. I'll be back in 2 Tuesdays. I don't know. I think it's the 28th at 11:30 for a second round of this for the month. All right.
All
Okay.
right.
Thanks
Okay.
again. You guys know where to
Thank you.
find me.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Bye-bye.
take care.
Thanks.